How's it going, guys? It's the Crypto Oracle here. Today we're going to do some chart and technical analysis over BNB Binance to US dollar tether. I'm also going to discuss the possibilities for alongside sell targets and how high BNB Binance could possibly go. Let's go ahead and jump straight over to the chart. Although I would like to make a disclaimer as we begin, because I'm seeing things like 100x Gym trending on Twitter. Make sure to do your own research. Make sure not to just blindly invest in any coin that people make videos about on YouTube. Specifically my videos, I like to discuss confirmations towards the long side and the short side. So don't just say, all right, this is a video about BNB, I'm going to buy in, this makes sense. Because we have an absolute possibility of breaking back down, seeing some sort of correction. And if you're trading with leverage, even if you're trading on the spot market, you can get shaken out by a breakdown or a correction. And we actually haven't confirmed price movement towards the long side just yet for our current formation, but it is very close. So you may have to be quite alert, set alerts on your phone for a breakout above these levels and these eventual confirmations. So the one area that we can draw on our chart for our support and resistance flip is going to be right through here based on these topside closes at close to 663. We've seen no weekly topside closes above 663 ever for BNB Binance. We're also going to jump straight into those long side sell targets and then really get into those confirmations towards the latter half of this video. So the first thing we're going to do is determine our breakout area, and there are actually a couple different ways we can draw this, but it's not really going to change our absolute sell targets towards the long side. So I can pretty confidently say it doesn't really matter where you start your trend-based fib extension, which is what we're going to be using for determining those long side sell targets. But just to give you all a heads up, there are a couple different areas we could draw at. The first area is going to be through here. This is closer to our previous peak or the previous area of our bull trend where we ended up reversing, finding a slight amount of resistance and then breaking back down. We come back up, we find resistance at that same area, and that's going to be close to 31.5. I can actually draw a line down through here just so y'all can compare these two areas, but you will see pretty soon that it really doesn't make a major difference in terms of those absolute sell targets. The next area is going to come from these bottom side shadows, so it's all really depending on our breakout zone through here. This is where we're focusing on, but we can draw it from the top side based on our closes or the bottom side based on our shadows where we found support, basically where we found resistance towards the top side or where we found support towards the bottom side. So I will show y'all how we can draw it from both areas and find a pretty similar result. So we're going to start from those top side closes to start with. We're going to run to our top side all-time high closes. We're going to run all the way down to these bottom side shadows. If we were looking for confirmation, we'd run it down to our bottom side closes through here, but we're looking for sell targets and absolute price travel. So we're going to draw it just like this. And this gives us a couple areas. I'm not really going to be focusing on this first area at 846 because there's not a lot of price action between our current price and that area. Now, yes, if we can see a good breakout on the weekly candlestick time frame to that area, you're looking at right around a 25 to 28% long side trade, depending on when you actually get in, when we see those confirmations, when those confirmations close or those candlesticks close. But for those initial sell targets, we are looking at a jump between 27 and 28%. But what I'm really going to be focusing on in this video is going to be our 161.8% trend-based fib extension zone. That's going to be through here. That is an 86% price jump with absolute confirmation above our current all-time high based on those topside closes. So we're looking at 86 to 87% for our secondary sell target. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, you can sell out a decent percentage at that 100% zone or $846, but honestly, I would hold on a majority for $1,000 plus. I really think BNB Binance is building up steam for a hard move above our current all-time high levels. We're holding these levels in terms of resistance, but if we can form enough volume, enough buyer pressure to push through 662, 663 or so, we see some volume on breakout. I can move over this chart real quick, meaning that we see expanding net buy volume from our volume indicator down through here to align with that price action upon breakout. So we at least see a nice daily close and eventually a nice weekly close above 663. We need to see that volume along with it. So we can actually draw or switch around our trend-based fib extension just real quick. We're going to bring it down through here to 26.1 based on those bottom side shadows. And you can see that gives us a sell target of 1247 for our secondary sell target instead of close to 1239. We don't have to be perfect in terms of where we initialize our trend-based fib extension or where we determine our breakout area actually is, because there's so much price action between the initialization and our all-time high level. It's between 26 or 31 all the way up to $663. So because we see such a large jump, that change is really pretty minuscule. So we do have a couple different sell targets. First one close to 850 and then an eventual jump to close to $1,250. I really think similar to Bitcoin, we're not going to spend a ton of time at $1,000. It really does depend on the volume we see as we approach those levels. So we're probably gonna have to make a game time decision in terms of either selling out below $1,000 or just letting us push straight through to that next sell target at close to $1,250. But that's what I think we're going to see in terms of a reasonable sell target for all-time high levels. Our next possible jump is close to $1,900, $1,875 to be exact. But in terms of my personal trading style, a little bit more conservative. I'm going to focus on that 1239 area, maybe hold on to something like 10 or 15% for any type of price action above that level, because we could absolutely be surprised by the price action from BNB and cryptocurrency markets in general as we approach all-time high levels for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB. So finally, we're going to talk about that confirmation area based on not only our weekly but our daily candlestick time frame. And the perfect part about it is that we have almost perfect alignment. So we move into our daily candlestick time frame. We zoom out just a little bit, and you can see that we only have to move that top side resistance up just slightly for a good confirmation. So we're going to move this up to those absolute highs for right around $677. We can zoom this in a little bit so y'all can see a little bit better. So we can see that we do have an approach to that same level in terms of our local price action. We saw a nice little breakdown and a hold close to $530, and now we're pushing right back up to that same area. We're actually not seeing any type of fluctuations in volume. This is the really interesting part and why I think that we're going to need expanding volume on this breakout, because in terms of our previous price action, our previous breakouts, we really did need that expanding volume to see an accelerated price move back up to or above all-time high levels. So in terms of a breakout above 663, 677 or so, I think we're going to need to see that volume, especially from the daily candlestick time frame, but also from the weekly candlestick time frame eventually. But I really do believe that we don't need to wait for the weekly candlestick confirmation for this chart because we have such great alignment. Now, yes, we only have an approach to this level, but yet again, the differences in terms of our approach and our double top formation are absolutely minuscule. We're talking about an absolute high of 669 versus 677. So I would call that a double top, even though it does technically act as an approach because we have that alignment on the weekly candlestick time frame. We can move back to the daily candlestick time frame and allow for just a slight amount of leeway. That gives us our daily candlestick confirmation above 677. Same with the weekly candlestick time frame. So wait for that daily candlestick to close above this level, open up that long side trade, allow for a slight amount of confirmation, but we're probably going to see that price movement before we wait for any percentage-based confirmation, meaning that we're probably going to see a close above probably around $700, at least 700, maybe 710. So we don't really need to wait for multiple candlesticks to close because I predict that we're going to see one candlestick to push straight above all-time high levels like we see from Bitcoin, from Ethereum. We usually do see at least enough price action from the daily candlestick time frame to cover any type of percentage-based confirmation, and it's going to be the same for the weekly candlestick time frame because we're talking about 7 days versus one. So that's what we have on the chart at the moment in terms of our long-term sell targets and an absolute all-time high for BNB Binance. Personally, for my trading style, I'll be selling out a small portion at $850, $846 or so, and then waiting for a move up to $1,000. If we can see good volume to push us straight through $1,000, I probably won't sell out any below $1,000. Wait for that move to close to $1,200. Sell another majority, probably around 60 to 65%, and then hold on to a very small portion for any type of price action above $1,200 to $1,250. That's what I would say for BNB Binance at the moment. We really are gearing up for a push through this double top formation. Let's go ahead and wait for those confirmations and make some good long side trades. Remember, I do make videos like this as well as tutorials multiple times per week, so you can subscribe as well as clicking that first link in the description. And if you'd like to follow my personal trades, I post 3 of them per week. Thank you all for watching and good luck trading this week.